So today we are going to talk about the cloud computing. So we'll understand what is cloud. Okay. So before we get into that, let us have a quick glance of on traditional on-premises word. Okay. What do you mean by on-premises? What do you mean by data center? What do you mean by physical server and virtual server? And then what is cloud? We'll just come back in a minute. Okay, let me take you guys to the one note pad here. Okay, so in the previous days, right? So we had all our services in our on-premises data center. So what do you mean by on-premises? On-prem. What do you mean by on-prem, guys? So on-prem is nothing but, say for example, if you have your office in Bangalore and there you have a building, in that building itself you will have a data center. So data center means the place where you keep all your workloads. Okay, maybe here one rack is there, here one rack is there, and it has got full of servers here, and all these servers are connected to a switch. Okay, so this is called as data center. Okay, so on premises means it is a place where you have your own office, and within that office you have a separate room to place all your servers, your network related components, okay, your lease lines, your firewalls, all your IT related infrastructure will be kept in the data center only. And this data center will be powered with 24 bar 7 power support. Means it will have always power backup will be there. You have Bescom connection, or you have electricity connection. You will have your UPS also, to if in case any power goes down, to suffice maybe around 24 hours of run. So you will have the UPS system there. And then you will have cooling system, you have ACs, because the servers are runs 24 bar 7. So if anything that runs 24 bar 7, so the chances of getting heat up, and once the heat is happening, right, once the components get heated, so there are chances of failure. To avoid that failure, so we should have always AC support. Means AC should be there always. You have to maintain the data center temperature like 16 18, that temperature you have to maintain. So for that you have to have ACs. And then to manage this data center you should have engineers, correct na? Say for example, if there are 10 applications you have, there should be 10 physical servers. Okay, if you talk about around 25 years back, we had a concept called physical system. Physical system means now you know the on premises, and now you know the data center. On premises means it's a place where you have your own data center, and in that data center you have all your workloads. Okay, now let us come to the physical machines. So now you know on premises, now you know data center. Now let us understand within this data center what will be there. Okay, within that data center we have servers. Okay, here if you talk about servers, so again in the server there are multiple types of servers. If you talk about around 25 years back, there were about only physical servers. Means for, say for example, you have 10 applications. Okay, so if you have a data center here, and within this data center you will have 10 different physical servers. Okay, okay, so imagine this is server 1, this is server 2, this is 1 2 3, this is 3, sorry, 4 5 6 7 8 9, and maybe here 2 servers I'll put, 7 8. Okay, 10 servers. This can be some storage or something. Okay. So here you see you have 10 different applications, and each and every application will be running on a separate server. Okay. And if you imagine previously, when you go over 25 years back, if you look at a server, it's a huge one. Okay. Let me take you here. Look at here. If you see an HP Proliant DL380 servers or any old server, if you take, it's a huge one. See here. Uh, no, these are the latest one. Okay, old HP, old big size HP Proliant servers. See, these are all the old school or no olden days physical servers. So you see here, one server will cost. I mean, it's not about the cost. It takes lot of space in the data center. Okay, you might have seen the bureaus at your home. Okay, so in one bureau size, only two servers can be accommodated. So why I'm telling you like this? Why I'm explaining like this? This one is, if you look at here, so I mean, if you have more number of applications, okay, you need more space to accommodate all the servers there. Correct, na? So imagine if you have 10 servers. To keep the 10 servers only, you need at least around 20 to 20, 20, sorry, 30, 40 size of the data center. Imagine if you have 100 applications, you need 10 times of that space. So it is very, very I mean, space consuming. And if it is a physical server, you need to have extra electricity, you need to have extra no AC system, and you need to have extra engineers to maintain that. Correct, right? So the maintenance in case of physical world, it was very, very issue problematic. I mean, it was a challenge, as because you started your organization or your company by 10 applications. Okay, as your business grows, your application count got increased from 10 to 100. If that is the case, you have to change your office. You have to find a space for the remaining 90 servers to accommodate in that building, or you need to vacate that building and you need to go for a new building and start by having the space for 100 servers. Imagine if your business continuously goes on. Again, you need to find different other places for the different servers, another set of servers. So this is a challenge. Now you know on premises. Now we understand what is data center and what are the operations will be there in the data center. Like you have electricity, you have AC system, you have engineers, and the biggest challenge is the space. As your business grows, the in the data center, the space for accommodating all the servers is a challenge. Okay, and imagine another one big challenge, not about the space. So you have this server one. Okay, this server one has got about 4 CPU and 8 GB memory. This is for an application called facebook.com. So this application running in the server, and after 10 years, this application will get retired. This application will get retired. And that time you are planning to reuse this server to another different application. That time this physical hardware become out of end of life. Means end of life means the vendor, the IBM vendor or HP, whoever is the vendor, they don't give support for this outdated physical box. Then again you need to go and buy a new set of physical server for the new application. So this will become of no use. After the expiry, you have to live with the risk, because the vendor will not give support. Vendor will not, when you raise a ticket requesting support stating that my CPU and memory, even though we have 4 CPU, 8 GB memory, it is behaving weird. It is very slow. It is getting restarted. Okay, performance is very slow. Then vendor will not take the ticket and they will not give you the support, because this physical server is outdated, end of life. Hence, whatever the capital investment you had here, capital investment, maybe that time one server cost around 5 lakh rupees. That 5 lakhs got wasted. Now there is no option, you have to scrap it. Okay, that is the one of the problem. So thinking all these things, then we started exploring another option. Okay, is there any new options? Okay, that is when we found this virtual machine concept, virtualization concept. Virtualization. Okay, we have started evolving, okay, from the on-premises, traditional on-premises data center, okay, when we bought in the servers, and servers maintaining, I know everything was a challenge there. Then we wanted to be smart. That is when we have evolved, we started using virtualization. Okay, now what do you mean by virtualization? Any idea about virtualization, guys?
web server.
Virtually
Remote,
means, yeah, go on.
remote.
See, physical servers also you can
Remote
tag
access.
remote. See, remote is a solution. I am sitting it at my home and you are sitting at your home. We both can connect to our data center. Say, for example, let me have one more here. See, remote means, so your data center is here. Okay, here you have around 5 application servers, and you are working from home. You are connecting from here, and I am also connecting from here. So remote means from the remote place you will be able to connect to the servers with the help of either internet or your VPN connection, or your maybe the VDI or cloud PC, whatever solutions we have, using that. Means basically from a remote place you are trying to connect to a remote server, that is called as remote. So here the servers either can be physical server, it can be a virtual server, it can be a cloud server. That is possible. Even by sitting at my home, I can just take your server remote just by going to your run command and type mstsc Microsoft Terminal Service Console, and it will ask you which server you wanted to connect. See here, I can just click on the IP address of your computer, and if I say connect, if I have the connectivity between my computer and your computer, I will be able to connect to your computer just by entering the username and password. This is called as remote. Okay, so the what I'm talking about is the virtualization. So virtualization means, yeah. Now we learnt about the servers. Let me talk about the virtualization. So I told you here a lot of challenges are there to maintain the physical boxes, and after some time the physical box will become end of life. Okay, you will not have problem, and moreover you cannot reuse much the physical servers. But in case of virtual, it is not like that. See here, in the virtualization, the concept of virtualization means you can create one physical box into multiple virtual machines. Okay, so here for 4 CPU and 8 GB memory, you have a separate server. In this case, you have a separate server for each and every server. Maybe server 1 has got 4 CPU, 8 GB memory. Server 2 has got 2 CPU, 4 GB memory. Server 3 may have 8 CPU, 16 GB memory. So each and every server is an individual physical hardware itself. But in case of virtualization, it is not like that. The virtualization will come, it is a bigger box. Say for example, so imagine, okay, let me delete this one. Don't laugh, okay? So imagine you have a one physical box here. Imagine this is an hypervisor or VMware ESXi. Okay, so you have a box actually here, and this box has got 10 CPU and 10 20 GB memory. Imagine, okay. So this will come as a single box. Okay, what you will do, you will install the virtualization software on top of it. You will install either hypervisor or VMware ESXi. So these two are the softwares you can install to this physical. So this is one of the server actually. This is one of the server, virtual server. This is one of the server. Okay, and this server has got 10 CPU and 20 GB memory. Okay, and you can install this virtualization software called hypervisor or VMware on top of it. And by installing this hypervisor software in this server will give or facilitate to use this 10 CPU and 10 GB however the way you want it. Say for example, you wanted one small application with one CPU and 2 GB memory. What you can do, you can carve out this one CPU and 2 GB memory, and you can create one VM01. Imagine, understand, you have the virtualization as a concept. Virtualization means those are also a kind of physical servers you can install. On top of that physical server you will install hypervisor or VMware, the virtualization software. As soon as you install this virtualization software, that virtualization software will allow you to carve out how much ever configuration you wanted in that physical server, and you can create virtual machine. So here I have total 10 CPU, 20 GB memory. I have carved one CPU and 2 GB memory. Then the left out is how much? The left out is 9 CPU and 20 GB, 18 GB memory. So you may need one bigger application. Maybe you are running some a big billion day sale or something in Amazon. Imagine. So that time lot of people will log into the servers. So the utilization will be high. So thinking that you will deploy another application with huge capacity. Okay, with a huge capacity you need maybe around not 8 CPU, 4 CPU and around 8 GB memory. Now the left out is 4 plus 1, 5 CPU used, 8 plus 2, 10 GB used. Now the left out is 5 CPU and 10 GB memory. Okay, are you guys understanding? How are we carving out that physical servers? And see, one physical server of 10 CPU and 20 GB memory, I am trying to create separate virtual machine of 1 GB and 4, so 1 CPU, 4 CPU, and 1 CPU, 2 GB, 4 CPU, 8 GB separate servers, and these servers are running on top of a physical server, and I cannot touch them. I can only imagine them, and that is the reason this is virtual machine. So after this big billion day sale over, that will be there for a week or 2-3 days. Now after this big billion day service is run, you can delete this virtual machine. Okay, as soon as you delete this virtual machine, your free space will become again 9 CPU. Your configuration will become free configuration 9 CPU and 18 GB, because this server is deleted or decommissioned. Then you can see out of 10 and 20 you use only one CPU and 2 GB memory, hence 9 CPU and 18 GB configuration is left out. So this is what the virtualization concept. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Now you know what is on premises. Now you know what is a data center. Okay. And you know what will be there in the data center. In the data center, you'll have physical servers or virtual servers. But if you talk about the olden days, you add only the physical servers. So physical server means you need lot of space, and capital investment is huge. Imagine here, if you want 10 servers, one server costs you 3 lakhs, means you need 30 lakhs investment. And AC, electricity, and resource engineers, all together it's a huge capital investment if you want to start a startup. Then people went about virtualization, because physically, if you compare physical server and the virtualization is cheaper, and it is very convenient. If you delete one physical server, you can reuse that for a different application server. But in case of physical, if the hardware is not supported or if the components are not supported, that physical server cannot be leveraged for a different application. Okay, that is why this virtualization concept came. Now, on top of so now you know virtualization is very easy, you can reuse everything, correct? Huh? But why people are now moving towards cloud? So how this cloud is different than the virtualization? Okay, so virtualization means, you know, it is one of the solution, okay, or a server you can deploy at your on-premises data center only, and on top of that physical box you can install the hypervisor, either a hypervisor, Microsoft hypervisor, or Microsoft Hyper-V, or the VMware ESXi, correct, right? So why we need cloud? See, cloud is very, very, very easy. See, you are somewhere here, Bangalore, and you are deploying some physical or some services in the Western Europe. Okay, cloud. Maybe you have an application called Facebook server. This is a Facebook application is running, right? So why people are moving towards from on-premises or VM virtualization to cloud means because cloud is very, very easy. You may ask how it is easy, sir. See, I told you, even though you buy physical boxes or the virtualization software, so it will be cost huge. Okay. First of all, you should have a data center here to keep either physical server or virtualization server. You need to have some space, office space. Nowadays, office space is very, very, very costly. If you want in a big, good tech park, to buy even 30-40 size of a office, you need to pay lakhs together. And then, on top of that, the investment for the servers. If you have 5 applications, you need minimum 15 to 20 lakh rupees for the servers, and then you should have AC, and then you have to go for approvals, and then you need to have some resources to manage those servers, to maintain the servers. But in case of cloud, it is not like that. Cloud will give you an option called pay as you go. Why cloud is easy? I'll tell you. Cloud will give you pay as you go. PAYG means it is like pay how much ever you use. Pay as you go. Okay. The cloud give you an option called pay as you go. That means if you need one server at the Western Europe data center, like 4 CPU and 8 GB memory, per month you need to pay some cost about 800 rupees. Per month it is 800 rupees. Correct, na? When you start an organization as a startup, instead of putting 25-30 lakhs for the physical infrastructure, if you go to the cloud, even though you have 10 servers also, per month within 8,000 rupees, all your infrastructure will be consumed. If you run your business for even a year, the expenses will not be even 1 lakh rupees for the cloud. Okay, whenever at any moment, if you feel like your business is not going the right direction, you can just shut down the servers and come out. You don't need to lose any money. And one more thing, in the case of on-premises, right? If you want to buy one TV, for example, you will go to Amazon, you'll go to Flipkart, you'll go to nearby Chrome and see what is the feature, what is the price, do you give any discount? You will do n number of negotiation options. Okay, then you will take the quotation from the IBM, HP, and Dell. You will take the quotation, and then you will compare the features, and then whoever is giving for lesser price, you will go that. So that no quotation option time will only take 1 month of time. Then you have to place the order. Then the order will go to the Microsoft, what is that, IBM or Dell. Then they will supply the hardware. They will take 20-25 days of time. So in the traditional way, if you want to buy one physical server, it is minimum 45 days it will take. But in cloud, it is not like that. Cloud is very, very easy. Cloud is at your fingertip. Why? Because cloud is easy. If you just go to, say, for example, I'll quickly show you how easy it is. Okay. So cloud has got a URL. Okay. See, portal dot azure.com. If you go like this is the Microsoft Azure portal. Okay, there you can just enter your username and password. See, if I quickly, I can just quick see, just with the help of my user internet, I just browse the portal called portal.azure.com, and I have just entered my username and password, and you see now I have connected to the Azure portal. I have the internet, I have the subscription, I have just logged in. Now, to build a physical computer, okay, you want to buy one server. How easy? See, just right click on virtual machine, create virtual machine, click on Azure virtual machine. Then, see, it will ask you few information, and within fraction of minutes you can buy the you can build the virtual machine in the cloud. See, in which subscription is Azure PaaS subscription, where you want to store. This is a resource group. Resource group means in the cloud, it is a kind of a container where you can place all the resources related to this particular application. You can just create a new RG, my new RG, okay, 01 got created, see, and then it is asking virtual machine name VM01, where you want to build. See, all the 52 regions are here. Whatever region is close by to you, you can do. But let me put it in the Western Europe here. See, Western Europe, and then available. I will explain you all these things later. I don't want this any availability for now. I will not say no redundancy. Okay, and security it's fine. And what operating system you want it? I want a Windows Server 2022 data center version. I'll select that, and it is asking me how much memory CPU wanted. You can go. I need 4 CPU and 16 memory. You put your username, local admin. You can put some password. Okay, and it is asking, will you be able to, do you need to enable some ports? Yes, and then you can just go to next. And disk, it is asking how much of a disk you wanted. If you want OS disk 128 GB, fine. If you want additional data disk, you can just click on create in the disk and attach it. Networking, it is asking in which VNet you wanted to build. Okay, but I'll explain all these things. Okay, for now, just to show you it is easy, I'm just going with the default value. Okay, and see, review and create. How much time it took? It not even took 2 minutes to create a virtual machine. That is how cloud is powerful. And if you look at, you see here 35 rupees per hour it is. See the cost here, subscription credit supply 35.2745 INR per hour. If you run this virtual machine for 1 hour, you need to pay only 35 rupees. Okay, I'll do a quick math now. Okay, if you go to the calculator, per day your office start by 9 o'clock, and if you shut down by 6 o'clock, your machine will only run about 9 hours. 9 into Saturday, Sunday you don't work, so only 22 days you work. 9 into 22 days. 9 hours into 22 days. Only 198 hours you run the business. Into 35 rupees, if you calculate also, only per month you are paying this for the service 6,930 rupees. But in case of if you buy a physical server or a virtual server, it's huge. 30 minimum 25 to 30 lakhs for 10 servers. Here for 10 servers only 60 or 90, 70,000 rupees per month. Per year if you run, it will be less than around 6 lakh rupees. You can run the business. Why to waste the money? That is why people will move towards always cloud, because cloud is easy and cloud is cheaper. So let me click on create, and you see how quickly the machine get created. Started, see, initializing the deployment. It's happening now. It will take about a minute, not even a minute. It will be faster than that. Now it is creating a virtual machine in the data center. Where? Western Europe. So there, Western Europe, Microsoft has built their own data centers. I'll explain you that now. What is data center and all, how the data center will be look like, all those things I'll explain you, so that it will be easy for you to correlate. Now you know why people are talking about cloud. now you clearly understood on premises you have lot of hiccups, lot of challenges you will have, okay, and lot of responsibilities are there with you in case of on premises. Virtualization also you have lot of investment, correct na? And in the virtualization the problem is here, say for example, if you want to safeguard this physical boxes here, say for example if you want to safeguard this complete physical box, what you have to do, you have to make sure the same copy is built in the some other location. Say for example your office is in Mangalore. Mangalore is close by to ocean, or whatever it is, then you think that maybe if something tsunami or something comes, then if the water get comes to the water, get into the data center, you will lose the entire data center workloads. Then you think of safeguarding your applications. Then what you do, we'll plan a different data center in Bangalore office, Bangalore, and we can have this data replicated to the Bangalore office. Then again, the investment for again the same set of physical box is huge. They in physical one location you have to buy, then you have to go with the servers, one more set of servers, then configure the data from Bangalore to Bangalore. Then all the data will travel from Bangalore to Bangalore. That lease line it will come. In the lease line it will the data will travel. For that you need to pay. Okay, and security, there is no security and a lot of challenges will come where the cable got cut, you have to raise the incident, there are a lot of things are there, okay. That is why, but in the cloud it is not like that. In the cloud there is an option called DR, disaster recovery, okay. Just enable that, and by just spending 100 or 150 rupees per month you can even safeguard this application from Western Europe to some other region, okay. That is how that cloud is very very easy, okay. See now this deployment is succeeded, and if you go to the virtual machine you can see a virtual machine called VM01. Now see, there is a VM just built now. See here, if you look at the size of the VM, the standard size of the VM is 4 CPU, 60 GB memory. Now you want to connect to this server. Just click on this connect option. See, this is called remote. The server is there where? This is there in the Western Europe. See, Western Europe. Okay. And now I'm connecting with that. How to connect? Because I already have a public IP. See here, there is a public IP. See, 65.52.130.174. Take this IP address, go to run mstsc. You can put that IP address. You can put that IP address here and say connect. See how am I connecting? Username is local admin. Password is password at the rate 123. See how beautiful it is. I have connected. This is called as remoting. Yeah. See, I have connected there. I am in India. I am sitting at my home. I have just logged into the Azure portal just by going to portal.azure.com. Then went to the virtual machine, clicked on create a new virtual machine. I have just entered the information. I have built the virtual machine, and now my virtual machine got built in the one of the data center, one of the Azure data center in Western Europe. See, I can use this computer the way however I want it. So this is how the cloud is easy. And if I don't want this application to be server to be running 24/7, I can just go and click on the stop. Then now I have ran it for 1 minute. I will only get the bill for 1 minute because it is pay per second. Cloud is like pay per second. If you use for 10 seconds, they will only bill for 10 seconds. Okay. So that is how this cloud is easy. Is it clear so far? Why people are moving towards on-premises to virtualization and virtualization to cloud? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I will take another 10 minutes. Okay. See, this cloud computing means in general, okay. So cloud computing means is a general term, anything that involves delivering hosted services over the internet. Means cloud computing is nothing but you have the data center somewhere in the remote place, okay. By using the internet, you will access that facility and deploy the services you wanted. And using the internet only, you will access the data. The transaction of the data happens. That is called as cloud. Very simple. Means anything that involves delivering the hosted components by using the internet or over the internet, that is called as cloud. Why we call it as cloud? Because it is there somewhere in the remote place. And you will access, see now, portal.azure.com. I had the internet and I had the URL. When I connect portal.azure.com, I straight away connected to the Azure facility. And then I got the access to the 52 data center. And then it allow me to create the virtual machine. As soon as I created the virtual machine, maybe in this, maybe here in the in this data center, okay, in this data center somewhere, my VM01 got deployed. I don't know in which rack the server is there. I don't know. And see, I'm not managing anything. See, this person is here standing. He is managing the physical boxes for me. I don't have to worry about managing the servers, managing the electricity, managing the network connectivity, managing the AC or coolant, whatever it is. It is all Microsoft responsibility. I'm just paying Microsoft per month around 6,000 rupees, and Microsoft is managing for me that one particular server. That is called as cloud computing. Okay, so this cloud has got multiple options actually. Okay, multiple components are there, technologies are there within the cloud actually. Okay, so we are from the infrastructure background because we deal about desktop, we deal about servers, we deal about network components, right? So we predominantly falls under the infrastructure background. Means we always takes care of the infrastructure operations. If somebody comes and asks you, a developer come and ask, I want to build an application called Instagram and I need one physical, I mean one infrastructure, I need 4 GB memory or 8 GB, 4 CPU and 8 GB memory, what I will do, it is your responsibility to deploy a virtual machine, put it, I mean, add it in the network, add the IP address, change the host name, check the connectivity, required port connectivity, and install the Java or Python, whatever plugins or modules they wanted, and you need to give them readily so that they can just log into the console and start coding their programs. That is the infrastructure engineer work. Okay, and then we also have PaaS. PaaS means we call it as infrastructure as a service. Whatever the first I think I told you, that is called as infrastructure as a service, and you guys all will study only infrastructure as a service. So platform as a service is there. So some people are very advanced. I don't want to maintain the physical, I mean, in physical boxes in the data center also. Let Microsoft only takes care everything. I need one platform. Okay. Say for example, I need to I don't want to have a server there. I just need one access to write the no, what is that PowerShell or Java or Python modules. As soon as you log into the portal, there is already an application will be populated. Okay, in the console, if you go somewhere here, you can just like this one option comes. Okay, maybe Python plugin or something. Just open that Python plugin. You will be taken you. I mean, it will be taken you to the programming module. There is no servers. You don't have to manage the servers. You don't have to manage the licenses. You don't have to manage anything. All the required platform will come to you to as a developer. You can use that. Then software. Some people will tell, I don't need infrastructure, I don't need platform also. I need one software. What is that software? I need Microsoft Teams to collaborate among ourselves. We have a team of 50 peoples and I need to have a collaboration tool. Let me give, I mean, give me the service of Teams. Then you can go as a software because Teams is a software that is called as software as a service. Then desktop as a service. Nowadays, I told you right to connect to the workplace from your home. Previously, in the olden school, we used to have VPN, virtual private network. This virtual private network means it's a technology. Okay, it will we will use the internet to connect to our office, and whatever the data get transacted between your home and the office network, that will be end to end encrypted. Okay, in 256 or 128 bit algorithm, hashing algorithm will be there. Okay, so nowadays even this desktop as a service also came. Means Microsoft will tell you why you want to pay for the licenses, Why you want to take the burden of managing the servers, updating the VPN clients, updating the VPN connections, all those certificates, everything? You give me that burden to me. I will give you a service called desktop as a service. Go to the portal, portal.azure.com or office 365. Microsoft windows.office365.com. Okay, just log in, and there you have enter username and password. As soon as you enter username and password, I will allow you to my your workspace. That is called as desktop as a service. And then latest the micro monolithic to microservices. No, this my container and all, it's microservices. For you, you don't need to learn all the below four things. Okay, you only need to learn infrastructure as a service, but I will also give you some glance about this too. What is platform as a service? I mean, what kind of services are there? How can you deploy the platform as a service and all those things? But infrastructure will thoroughly cover. Okay, the same thing I told you. Okay, whatever information you wanted in the cloud. See here, we have the servers, we have virtual desktop, we have software as a platform, applications and the storage are there, and this is deployed is somewhere in the remote place. Correct, na? See, and using the internet you are just accessing this. See, this is your on premises. See, the router is there. Okay, internet router is there, means switch is there, means there is an internet. With the help of internet, either your mobile phone, tablet or laptop, you can access the cloud resources the way you wanted. Okay, whatever I've explained you previously, the same side is here. And some terminology I already explained you. Terminology is related to the cloud. I already explained you data center. Data center means it is a place at your on-premises where you store all your data. The data can be your servers, your network rack, your switches, your storage, anything. Migration means moving the system from one place to another system. Some physical to virtual, virtual to cloud, you can migrate. That is called as migration. Cloud means you already know it's a remote place where you can access the content or the data using the internet. You might have already know IP address, subnet, IP address and subnet you might have already know. VNet means that is the where you have this LAN WAN concept in the on premises, right? That LAN and WAN concept got replaced with VNet. VNet is nothing but virtual network in the cloud. It is an imaginary network at the cloud that is called as VNet. I'll explain you all those things. Okay, VM means virtual machine, servers, data center, connectivity, express route, web app, database. All these things are the terminologies related to the cloud. You see here, you have a very big city, maybe a very big city like Bangalore or Mumbai. Okay, and your lot of businesses are here, lot of businesses are there, and each and every business is connected with one or the other cloud. See, you can see the cloud connectivity. Okay, one or the different services can be seen here. Okay, and if you want to see or if you want to imagine how the data centers will be there in the cloud provider, this is one of the data center of Microsoft at Amsterdam. Okay, it is in Europe actually. This is how the Microsoft has laid down their hardware at the data center. This is very big actually. It is more than I think 200 acres. Actually, it is only you can only see like this. We can say I mean aerial view actually. Okay, so in this servers you have lot in this data center you have lot of what is that physical hardware is there. As soon as you connect to the cloud and you select the Western Europe, maybe the connection will come here, one of the data center connection will come, and when you start virtual machine building and say complete in this virtual machine. Okay, in this like this physical racks will be there. In one of the rack the virtual machine will be getting built. Okay, and such kind of data centers in the entire globe we have around 52 places. You see here, in India only we have three: Western India, Central India and South India. Okay, so you see this symbol na, this diamond symbol with the mark, right? That means availability set. So availability zones means it is not availability, it's availability zones. So availability zones means within that region, Microsoft will have three data centers. Say, for example, when I say Karnataka as a location, They will put one data center in Mysore, another one is in Bangalore, third one is in Mysore. Mangalore. Mysore, Bangalore, and Mangalore. When you build an application, Facebook, you can select if you have two, three application servers. One server you can place in this zone. Second one is you can place in this one. Third one you can place in the availability zone 3. I'll explain you all this thing later, but just to give you an understanding. So when people talks about when you access the application, you never ask the server. You will always access the server using www.facebook.com, and that facebook.com has a load balancer. This is a load balancer, and all the servers are added here to the load balancer. So when people are hitting this facebook.com, the load balancer will send either to this one or to this one or to this server. So any of the one server, it will send the connectivity. So the benefit is of availability zone is due to some reason here. What is this? Mangalore region. Due to heavy rain or due to tsunami, this data center got submerged. You don't have any servers. You still have two servers here. One is in Mysore, another one is in Bangalore. Bangalore also, due to heavy cyclone from Chennai, it hit, and Bangalore also got electricity outage or something. Then you still have Mysore, okay, and Mysore never gonna hit with any kind of cyclone or any kind of tsunamis. So this is very, very safer. So at least you will have one application server to fulfill the applications when somebody browse www.facebook.com. So this is what the availability zones, I'll explain you. And all these data centers are minimum 200 to 250 kilometer away, physically separated, minimum 200 to 250 kilometer away, because 250 kilometers means no cyclone or no tsunami will go. That is the reason they have planned like that. One is in Pune, one is in central India, South India also somewhere it is there. Okay, total around 52 regions we have in the entire world, okay, for Microsoft Azure. And this is called as data center redundancy. Here you have three data center, na? So one data center of Mangalore goes, or Bangalore goes also, you still have Mysore. That is called as the data center redundancy. So we have another option called availability set and availability zone. So this I'll explain you later. Availability set means it is a hardware redundancy. So Microsoft will give you two types of redundancy. Okay, you want physical data center redundancy or you want a hardware redundancy. So if you want physical data center redundancy, you can use availability zone. You want physical hardware level redundancy, then you can set availability set. So when you set availability set, when you keep the virtual machine, one virtual machine will be going in this hardware, another virtual machine will be going and sitting in this hardware. So both the hardwares will be there in the same data center. But this has got a separate network connectivity, this has got a separate power connectivity, this has got a separate maintenance schedule. This also same. This has got a separate connectivity, network, electricity, and separate maintenance schedule will be there. So when people access facebook.com, one time it will go here, one time it will go here, and due to some issue, if the power goes down or if the rack got fire, only this particular rack will go down, but you still have another rack, another physical hardware at the same data center. From here you will get the application. This is called as availability set. I'll explain you this all these things later. And this is how the physical data center looks like within the data center. Okay, and this I already explained you: platform as a service, software as a service, IaaS, all these things. And lastly, the types of clouds we have. Okay, so this is just a demo actually. So we have private cloud, means you have your own cloud at your office. Maybe you have a data center, you have by physical virtual machines, everything, VMware, ESX, everything you have, and you have created your own cloud there. That is called as private cloud. Hybrid means you also have on-premises and you also have some cloud in the maybe Azure or AWS or GCP, Google. So when you have the combination of on-premises and the cloud, that is called as hybrid. Public means whatever we are talking about now, like the Azure, AWS, and Google, from where you access the data center using the internet, that is called as public cloud. Community means two, three peoples come together and they will form their own data center. Okay, and that is called as community. So private means it is all yours. It is a single organization. Okay, they can buy their own data center, they can buy their own physical servers, they can buy their own virtual machines, and they can use it for their purposes. That is called as private cloud. Hybrid means you have private plus little bit on the Azure or AWS, Azure or GCP. The combination of private plus public cloud, that is called as hybrid. Public means only public. You don't have any servers at your office. You will only have Azure or AWS or Google. That is called as public. And community, you know already. And advantages, the same thing. See, cost saving. So you don't need to invest lot of money. If you don't want to run the machine 24/7, you can shut down the server after the business hour. You can save a lot of money. Flexibility. If you don't want the server today, you can just delete it and stop the billing. And 24/7 available. You don't need to manage electricity. You don't need to manage power. Everything will be managed by Microsoft, but you can use it. Even midnight, 1 o'clock also, if you want a VM to be built, just log into the portal.azure.com, click on the virtual machine, build it. Reliability. Reliability is very, very advanced in terms of Azure, because Microsoft is not relying on any other's connectivity. Okay, in this 52 regions I told you, right? Microsoft, they have built their own connectivity. Okay, they have laid down the network cables under the oceans. Under the ocean, they have laid down the cable, and that connectivity we call it as Microsoft backbone connectivity. Microsoft backbone. So the data which travels in this line, it is end-to-end encrypted, and even Microsoft doesn't have any clue what data goes in between these lines. Okay, that much of reliable it is. Scalability. Today I have one virtual machine. Okay, with 4 GB and 8 CPU, right? So tomorrow, if you feel that this is not enough, you can just go here. You will have the size option. See, VM size is there. Go here. 4 CPU, 6 GB is there, na? Tomorrow, if you feel like I don't need 4 GB, 4 CPU, you can just go with this one, DS1. Click on this DS1 size, and you can click on resize. See, the virtual machine size got automatically reduced here. So this is called as scalable. If you want to increase the size, you can just go to the size blade, select how much ever memory or CPU you wanted. It will be done within 2 minutes. See here. Now if you look at the size of the virtual machine got changed. See here. Earlier it was let me refresh. Previous one is 4 GB, 16 GB. Once again, let me go to the size blade here. See, it was 4 CPU and 16 GB memory, right? I felt that I don't need 4 CPU, 16 GB. Simply, I'm wasting the money. And then I wanted to reduce the size for one CPU, 3.5 GB memory. Automatically, just went to the size blade and I've downsized it. This virtual machine. This is called as scaling. Okay, scaling is very, very high, very, very good actually, scalability. And unlimited storage. It is pay as you go, right? If you use 1 GB, you have to pay for 1 GB. If you use 10 GB, you have to pay for 10 GB. So when you buy in the traditional data center, there is a limitation. If you buy 500 GB, you will not use that day one only. You will use somewhere after 3-4 years. Once you consume 300 400 GB, after that only you will consume 500 GB. Why you want to invest a lot of money for 500 GB in the day one itself? So Microsoft will tell you it is scalable. You just pay me how much ever space you wanted, and the space is unlimited. You can put n number of GBs and TBs and petabytes of data in the storage, but how much ever you use, for that only you pay. That is called as unlimited storage, and it is pay as you go. Cost saving, I already explained. Easy backup and restore. I told you, easy backup and restore. Just we have Azure recovery service fault and option. Just go there, add the server to the backup, and configure the policy to trigger the backup every day, 1 o'clock midnight or 2 o'clock midnight. Okay, what level of backup you want, full backup, differential backup, all those things can be easy. An automatic software update for the physical box, you don't need to wait for patching, so Microsoft will only takes care of everything, and performance is ultimate. Okay, because all the advanced systems, latest generation CPUs and memories are physical boxes they use in the Microsoft. Okay, so all these are the benefits of actually the Microsoft or any cloud for that matter. And if you see the major cloud service providers in the market, you have Amazon, you have Google, you have Salesforce, you have Azure, you have Oracle, you have Alibaba, you have IBM Cloud. Okay, all these clouds are there in the current market. But the major ones are Amazon is about, it was around 4 years back, it has got around 60%, but Microsoft is getting overtaken now. Actually, Microsoft is the rate of growth in terms of acquiring the market is Azure is the number one, because 99% of the industry they use Microsoft operating system, and Microsoft will tell you, if you go to the cloud, Azure cloud, if you come to Azure cloud, you don't need to pay the licensing cost for me in the cloud, you can just use the on-premises licensing only. You will end up reducing your cost by 20% then and there. So, like this, very fancy offers they are giving Microsoft. That is the reason people are, everybody is rushing towards Azure now. Okay, the first one is AWS, second one is Azure, third one is the Google GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Okay, and Oracle, Salesforce, IBM, Alibaba, all these are there, but very minimal. Okay, so these are all the major service providers. And if you ask what are all the things we are going to cover, okay, in this curriculum, see, understanding of cloud computing, understanding of on-premises and Azure connectivity, how the on-premises and Azure connectivity will be there, and how, what are all the certifications we have in Azure, and which is mandatory, what is optional. Okay, I mean, is there any dependent certifications are there, how can you do that, all those things. And Azure networking is very important actually. Okay, we will, because in the on-premises world we will have a separate network team. They will take care of the IP subnetting and the connectivity, firewall, everything. But here you have to take end to end. You have to take care of you have to take care of network, subnet, VNet creation, VPN peering, okay, and even the VNet gateways deployments, okay, network gateway deployments, firewall, everything you have to manage. Okay, so theory of virtual machines and other day-to-day related virtual machines related activities, load balancers, storage accounts, backup, traffic manager, all those things we are going to cover. Along with that, IP address and subnetting, Windows servers like DNS and DHCP already covered. A couple of you guys already covered. We have already. That's why I have Milan. This is why I have not started the Azure, because all these topics I have to cover, and that is the reason we finish up all this information already, topics already, and that is why we started today the Azure batch. Okay, and where we have Active Directory and frequent use terminology, basic virtualization. Okay, so the other topics we have already covered. Only the content is now this Azure, and the Azure related topics are left out. So after that, what you will become? This is just a glance. You will be called as a Azure infrastructure engineer or a cloud administrator. Or after 2 years, you can become Azure solution architect or Azure developer if you are interested in the Azure developing. Okay. And roles and responsibility. What will be your day-to-day roles and responsibility? Like just monitoring the existing resources, a new virtual machine deployment, no, maybe a backup failure is there, you have to re-trigger the backup, a storage account creation, a snapshot can be taken, image creation, okay, and modification of the firewall rules, NSG rules, okay, shutting down the virtual machine, powering on the virtual machines, okay, all these are the day-to-day related activities for a cloud engineer. Okay, I think with that we are done with the first day of the class. I know it is too much. Any questions we have? Time for questioning
No,
now.
sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So let me stop the recording and then I'll ask the questions. Thank you.